Hi, everybody. This is Dawn with another Dawn production. And today I thought I would teach you guys how to make this. And before you go, oh no, that's too hard. It's actually not. I was shocked that at how easy it ended up being. And they're so much fun to make. And I have made them out of silver and gold. Supplies that we're going to need is 11 inches of 18 gauge, whichever wire that you want, whatever wire color that you want to use. And it does, the straighter you get then it's kind of easier to keep that line going. Um, but it doesn't, I mean, it is homemade, so it is organic, and I have learned to give myself a break. And then we'll be needing our round nose pliers and some chain nose pliers and flush cutters with my handy dandy Harbor Freight flush cutters. If y'all don't know this already, Harbor Freight tools, their name brand tools, have a lifetime warranty. So every time the tips of my flush cutters, I have one that's like literally 1 minute away from my apartment. And so every time that they get dull, I just go get a new pair. And they're not mad about it because I didn't even read the package after buying 3 pair. And I had asked a new kid, and he pretty much said, "Yeah, it sucks to be you." And then I mentioned it again to somebody more seasoned, and he pointed out where it's on the package and in English, I might add, where it says lifetime warranty. So, um, but today we're going to be doing it in raw copper, and I'll even show you what it looks like because I've done another one. This is actually one of the first ones that I did, and this is what it looks like after I dipped it in the liver of sulfur. Isn't that pretty? I just love making these because they are really easy, easier than I thought it was going to be. Let's just say that. So we're going to start off with 11 inches of 18 gauge wire. And you do want to start with a flush cut. It looks like I've already done a flush cut on this one. And the first thing that you're going to do is just turn a loop. That's it. So we're going to turn a loop and go ahead and break that neck. And now that's the top of our pendant. Oops, I am off camera. Let me see if I can get this adjusted where that won't be happening throughout the entire filming. Straighten it up a little bit. And then we're going to add our beads on. And today I just picked a couple antique copper little balls and antique copper bead cap. And these were actually gifted to me. I'm not entirely sure what gemstone this is, but it is a gemstone. I want to say possibly Indian agate, but again, I'm not really sure. There was a whole bunch of different colors that was in that shape that was gifted to me from a very nice lady at church. And so now we have this. So that's going to be the top of our cross. And So the first thing that we're going to do is we're making the top part of our J, which all you do is just like if you were making a simple loop, we're just going to bend it over. You do want to make it parallel with your loop. And that's all you do. Is just bend it over. And there will be lots of adjusting along the way, by the way. So and that's okay. Yep, that looks good. So then you just depending upon how big you want your pendant to be, it's about how much you gauge. So, you want it to be proportioned to this part. I mean, y'all have seen crosses before, so. And we're just going to bend that straight over. And even if you do make it a little big, because actually I do think I made that just a tiny bit too big, just use your round nose pliers and roll it down to be whatever size that you want it to be. And that looks a lot better. I like that better. And then you do give it a little squeeze to bring it together. And that's the top part of our J. And I gotta say, I love doing this next part. I just think it's fun. Anytime that I get to just kind of swing it around, I don't know why, I just have fun doing that. So I can tell you a little pro tip. Well, I don't know if it's a pro tip, but I have made several of these, and what I've learned is that approximately, so we want it to be proportioned to this. You want to do it just a little bit less because when you bend the wire, it's going to add. So right about there. You just swing it around. And there's our J. Actually, we can make it just a little bit bigger. That looks good. There's our J. And like I said, there's going to be all kinds of adjusting all along the way. Which I mean, they're just little minor little tweaks. And so now we're going to bend this just a little so we can make our E. Because we're going down this, we're trying to make this straight line. We're trying to make this straight line right here. And it is very easy. I'm so shocked at how easy this ended up being. I will try to go into my history and see the very first tutorial that I watched. I actually watched several. I'm pretty sure. Oh gosh, what's her Latimer? It's her last name. I can't remember her first name. Samantha, maybe. I believe I watched her. Maybe Heather Boyd. But there was another lady that I'd never heard of before that I watched her, and that's the one that I landed on that was really super helpful. Because, I mean, she did this particular project. So the other ladies that I watched, they just did the entire alphabet, which was very helpful. Um, But this particular project, I watched a different artist, and I will do my very best because I do need to give credit where credit is due. And so back to this project. So now we've made our J, and you just bend it over a little bit, and now we're gonna just swing it around. And you always want to bend the wire towards the back whenever you're making your loops. Well, except for the J. We're gonna keep turning that, make it a little smaller, and then we're also gonna bend it. So it looks like that. And there's our E. Actually, I want to make it even a little more smaller. And again, that's just where you use your round nose pliers. There we go. That's good. Good, good, good. And I also do recommend maybe trying with some 20 gauge until you feel more confident. If I'm trying a new word that I haven't done before, I definitely give it a try with the 20 gauge instead. Because it's smaller, it bends easier. It will look sloppier, I'm not gonna lie. But um, just to get the motion of it familiar with your hands. And then now we're going to go straight up so we can get in position to make the S. Not quite straight up, but at an angle. And then we just bend it on top of itself. Oop. Little reminder. Sorry about that. I like making S's too. I think they're fun. So once you bend it over, then we need to give it a little squeeze. I do like making S's. I think they're fun. So once you give that a little squeeze, then you also want to give it a little bend. So we're just going to take your pliers and right there at the tippy top, just give it a little bend like that. See? We can bring this back towards the E a little bit. And then now, whenever you put the little bend, keep your pliers there and just pull on your wire. Because now we're going to make the bottom part of the S. And this is also fun. So you just put your round nose pliers right back. And we're just going to loop it around. All the way around. Just keep on going. See? How fun! How fun. I get excited. Every time I have a successful letter, I'm not going to lie. I just think it's so much fun making letters. Voila. Now we're going to follow it around. Yep, yep, yep. Now we need our chain nose pliers. So we can do the bend. And making the letter U. It's also easy and fun. Which I have a bad habit. I always want to straighten it along the way, and honestly, it's easier if you just kind of. I mean, you can, but um, once everything, all the letters are made, to kind of straighten it out. A final tweak toward the end. Let me see how that's going. There we go. No, it's not. I'll work on that at the end because this looks good. So now I'm going to take this, go straight up. And all you do is just bend it on top of itself, which you want to see go just a hair, because when you bend the wire, remember, it's going to add. So we want it to be even with this. So we're going to go just a little bit below and just bend it down right on top of itself. And then see, oops, I do apologize. Let me silence this thing. And again, I apologize for the interruptions. There we go. I should have done that before and I didn't think about it. I apologize. I needed to get a little drink real quick. Okay, so to make the U, you just bend it on top of itself and give it a little squeeze. Right on top of itself. Voila. It's actually, there we go. Voila. And now we're going to make the bottom part. And again, you want to remember your line. Just bend it. And then we'll go in and we'll straighten that up and make it the right proportion that we want. Now I've got a church song in my head. Jesus, Lamb of God. This is making me crazy a little bit. I want it to be maybe if I do that. That's better. Okay. So now we're just going to do the same thing again. Remember? So this, if we want it to be even with this one, so we're going to go just a hair underneath that and bend it over. And then see? And again, if it's off by a little bit, that's, you can use your round nose pliers, your chain nose pliers in order to even that up. Give it a little squeeze. Give it a little squeeze this way, a little squeeze this way. Whoop. Maybe not that hard of a squeeze, but that's what the beauty of wire. Remember, you are the boss of the wire. Voila. I want it to be a little flatter. There we go. Voila. And now, another one of my favorite S's. And actually, it looks like I could have gone with a little less wire. Don't tell Jennifer. Jennifer Miller, she's so awesome. I get so tickled in our lives. You guys, Dawn is here. That just makes me feel so warm and fuzzy every single time. Okay, and now we're just going to do the same thing as before. Going to give it a hold right there and bend it at an angle and bend it down on itself. Give it a pinch. Use our round nose pliers, give it a little bend. I'm sorry if I was off camera. Give it a little bend. This needs to be a little tighter pinch. Okay. Give that a squeeze so we can bend this straight out. Put in our round nose pliers so we can make that bottom part of the S. I just love making S's. It's so fun. needs to be bigger. Voila. Can make this a little closer. And there we have it. And now, to finish this off, I don't know, something, I don't like that part right there. I'm gonna, what if I bring this, there we go. There it is. Okay. Now it's straight. This still needs to be a little bit bigger. And now we bring this down to the bottom. Voila. And then just hold this. Bring that straight out. A little better than that. There we go. I still want that to be bigger. Voila. Now we're going to switch to this. Okay. How's it look? I like it. I like it a lot. I can't wait to put it in the liver of sulfur. Or you can keep it just like this. So to finish it off, I just come down here. And this one I actually made a little longer than I cared for. Which you can put another bead on here if you want. You can make with the loop down here if you want. You can keep it kind of big so you can dangle something from there. Personally, I just like to finish it. And all I do is just bend it onto itself with enough to make about 3 wraps. Oh my gosh, I'm so incredibly sorry. So just bend it straight back onto itself and give it a good squeeze so it just lays right on top, and then hold really tightly with your pliers so you can bend it straight out. And you can hand wrap it if you're a hand wrapper. Personally, I like using my tools so I can make nice, clean, tight wraps. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and trim some of this wire off. I'll make a couple jump rings out of that. So we're going to hold this nice and tight. Use our pliers. One, a two. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop Tootsie Roll? A 3. That looks good. Could probably even do another one. Let me see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do another one. I'm just going to see if I can use my pliers to finish it off. Mm. There we go. That looks good. Now we're going to snip off that little bitty excess and squeeze it down. Push that down. You want to feel it, make sure there's no anything sharp. There we go. Okay. Voila. What do you think? You like it? You gonna give it a try? Usually, I do take it over to the bench block with the rubber hammer and give it a couple little whacks just to kind of work harden it. Honestly, I don't always. It just depends on the bendiness of the wire. Um, I haven't had any issues thus far. So there's that. And then also this other one, then it's just ready to go on some chain. Or if you want to do a beaded necklace, that's entirely up to you. But there it is. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Once again, this has been Dawn with another Dawn production. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day and happy beading.